Hi there, my name is Molly. I'm a marine biologist that works out here in Maui, and today I'm going to share a complete travel guide to my absolute favorite spot to get in the water, Mala Wharf. The original plan for Mala Wharf was to use it for large steamer ships. The local Hawaiians at the time advised against this, but the army built it anyway in 1922. What's funny is that the Hawaiians were right, and the first ever cargo ship to pull up crashed right into it. Here's what the wharf used to look like until 1992, when it got hit by Hurricane Iniki. Now from the surface, it doesn't look so beautiful today, but once you look under the water, it looks more beautiful than ever. So let's talk about how to get there. The wharf is on the very north end of Front Street, the heart of Lahaina town. It's full of art galleries, food, history, and the largest banyan tree in the entire US. You'll know when you're getting close because it's pretty obvious. And even if you somehow missed that sign, it's pretty hard to miss the Jesus Coming Soon building, which you'll turn left at. I find this pretty ironic because if you're coming from up on the west side, you'll pass actual Jesus. And yeah, this is a blurry shot, but to all my people watching that live on island, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Anyway, once you get to Mala Wharf, you'll see a big old parking lot. And if there's no parking there, there's another big old parking lot behind the bathroom. So now let's talk about getting in. Once you're all geared up and headed towards the ocean, you're gonna walk along this rock wall, and once you get to the end of it, take a second and really assess the water conditions because the ocean's a dangerous place and sometimes you shouldn't get in. But if it's a perfect day like this one, it's time for step 3, exploring the ocean. For the sake of making this more digestible, I'm gonna split Mala into 3 main areas. Starting with right where you get in, we're gonna call this the shallows. And while we're here, I'm also gonna point out somewhere you should never go, which is the boat channel. Right off the bat when you get in, you're already gonna be seeing super cool little critters, even on the rocks that you walked in on. And as you continue further, you're just gonna see more and more amazing sea life and beautiful coral. Now before we leave the shallows, I wanna give you guys some quick reminders for when you're snorkeling. First things first, we are visitors of the ocean and of this island, so please be as respectful as you can. But what does that look like? For starters, do not ever stand on the coral, don't even touch it. Not only does it have stinging cells on its surface, but this is a living animal that can take sometimes over a year to grow 1/3 of a centimeter. Next, let's talk about sunscreen. If you're gonna wear sunscreen, be sure that it is reef safe. A lot of brands will lie and say it's reef friendly, when in reality it's not. So if you see any active ingredient other than zinc or titanium dioxide, go ahead and put that sunscreen right in the trash. And speaking of trash, if you find any on the reef, grab it and stick it in your boot or something because we want to leave the reef cleaner than we found it. Our next order of business is about the honu or the turtles. You always want to keep a respectful distance from the turtles because some of them are amakua or ancestors of the families that live out here. Not only that, but we are filthy humans and can actually pass on diseases to the turtles by simply touching them. And the last piece of advice I'll give you is always snorkel with a buddy. This will not only keep you way safer, but also allow you to share such a magical experience with someone that you love, or even just tolerate. Anyway, we're moving on to the next area here to explore, which we're gonna refer to as the Pillars. This area is super fun to adventure in because it gives you that super spooky shipwreck vibe that I love. There's always a bunch of super cool ocean friends hanging out down by these pillars, and sometimes even ones hanging out above the water on the pillars. Now the third area that we're going to talk about today, which I saved best for last, is called
Shark Attack Rock!
From a young age, we have all been brainwashed by the media to believe that sharks are villainous predators that want to eat every human that they come in contact with. But this is simply not true. And to back that up, I will share with you my favorite statistic of all time. You are more likely to get bit by a New Yorker on the subway than you are a shark. Now that we've cleared that up, I think we gotta come up with a better name for this amazing location. I'm thinking we'll call it the Sweet Spot. All of the pieces of the wharf that fell during Hurricane Aniki now are the home to a flourishing reef ecosystem. The old beams and concrete that used to make up the wharf now are excellent hiding places for so many cool fish species, as well as white-tip reef sharks and us adventurous humans. But the sweetest part of the Sweet Spot is definitely the turtle cleaning station. This is a spot on the reef that the turtles and the fish have an unspoken rule that the turtles will get a nice clean shell and the fish will get their afternoon snack. Now I've got to admit that there's not much more in this world that makes me happier than watching a turtle get followed around by a bunch of little fish munching algae off of its butt. And I don't know about you guys, but by the time I'm done adventuring in the ocean, I'm usually pretty crusty. So the showers are definitely a plus. And if you're hungry, there's a Safeway right behind this dive spot where you can get amazing Pokeballs. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and remember, if you come to Island, stay respectful to the people, the land, and the ocean. Thanks for watching. You're beginning to feel very relaxed, maybe even a little bit sleepy. After watching this video clip, you're gonna become my biggest fan, and you're gonna have the sudden urge to go check out my website, where you can find all of the amazing vibes that I have to offer. Now, once I snap my fingers, you're gonna forget that you watched this clip at all. And if anyone asks you about it, you're just gonna answer, I don't know, baby.